Annette, thank you so much
Hello.
for joining me for a few minutes to talk about Riviera travel and river cruising. Now, you have had, thanks, you've had over 40 years of experience in the cruise industry.
Yes, yeah.
And with Riviera Travel, you've been with them for 26 years. That's amazing.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, it's been it seems a long time, but it's flown by, It's just, you don't realize.
And you have the prestigious role of cruise director.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like and what is the role of a cruise director on ship?
All right. Obviously, our operations office and the sales and marketing and so on, they put the itineraries together every year, and sometimes they change. If we find something doesn't work properly, we try and change it and make it more acceptable for the passengers, more enjoyable. And so every year there's a bit of a tweak, let's put it that way, in certain cases. But for me, I'm obviously in contact with the office all the time. I get my paperwork a couple of weeks before every cruise, and then I'll make my way through it. I see where our mooring points are, because from there I can tell where the coaches can come or where the guides have to come. Then I do the confirmation for the guides and for the buses, and then make sure that our passengers are aware what time we're leaving. I produce the programs on board according to what I get from the captain, what I get from the hotel manager, what I get from the office, and then I'll put it all together, and we produce a daily program, obviously, and that is then delivered the night before, and we talk about it, and then before every port and every excursion, I do an in-depth briefing, not just about the excursion, but also if you want to go ashore on your own, because you don't have to join the excursion. You're free to be on your own, explore if you like. So I like to give a lot of information. If you want to just walk down, watch out for this, or the bus goes there if you want to not walk. And so this is a nice place to have a glass of wine, especially when you're in France. So it's very important. And and so on. And then obviously sometimes, as happens, especially on the rivers, you have high water, you have low water. So you have to be very flexible, and according to what we can do, then change maybe itineraries or tweak them whilst we are cruising. But that's always done in conjunction with the captain, with the hotel manager, with the office, obviously. And so keep the passengers informed at all times. And also, we like to make contact with our passengers. So you have a personal involvement with them and them with us. So they can come and ask us anything. I mean, I had people who, we had a walk into a lovely place, but it was a bit too much for some of them, because they're maybe a little bit of a walking disability, you don't know. And I just, no problem. I know where the next closest bus stop is, a local bus. Come with me. After the excursion leaves, I'll take you on the bus. We'll go into town. I'll show you where it is. And then you make your way back. So it's a little bit above and beyond what is actually in the program, so to speak. So we like to, do all that, and we escort. I always make sure that my CC, the cruise concierge, is on all the excursions, and sometimes I go as well, obviously, depending on if it's a full day one, when you need to have additional staff, so to speak. We always have local guides who are very knowledgeable, obviously, because they're local, they're licensed, and they will take all the coaches and give wonderful commentary. We have the wonderful audio devices.
Yes, in every cabin.
Every cabin, every cruise, and they're fabulous, because you can, you plug yourself. We'll explain, obviously, we have a session explain to everybody how they work, and then people are free to listen to the guide, don't have to lip read, and can window shop at the same time, I always say.
Fantastic. The best of all worlds.
Yes, absolutely.
And some of the things that you've said about going above and beyond, do you feel like that's part of the Riviera travel experience when you're river cruising?
Absolutely. We have so many people who return over and over and over. There's one couple, and now they're bringing their mother-in-law as well. They've been with us 38 times.
Wow.
Okay, cruising only. And that's within the last few years, since I discovered this, I think about 6 years now. So they go from ship to ship, and sometimes they like an itinerary, they come back and do it again because they missed out on something here. And we have that a lot. Maybe not the amount of cruising, but we have many cruises, 5, 10 times, 12 times, who constantly return to our ships, different itineraries. So, and that's also why we always try to do something a little bit different. From our 7-day cruises, now we have lots of options where we extend, especially in France. We do on the Rhone and Saône. We end up in Avignon, for instance, or rivers. And then there is an extension. We can go into the Camargue, for instance, which is absolutely stunning. Or if you do over the Douro, maybe, that extension, you can visit Lisbon for 3 days or Porto. And so we try to always increase and enhance our itineraries. And sometimes we drop a port because maybe not because the port isn't pretty, but maybe because the local suppliers are not working and not living up to their promise. So sorry, folks, but we'll try somebody else and somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we'll do that constantly, and that's why every year it changes a little bit.
And it's because you're always looking for the way to make the guests feel like you have delivered, that ultra value that you cannot get elsewhere.
Yes.
And the exceptional onboard experience and shore excursions too.
I think so, yes, because we have close contact with the guests. Not just talking about the excursions or what's involved, but eventually you find out about the families, about the grandkids, about the schooling, and so on and so on. So not everybody, obviously, some people like to be private and not do that. So it works. You learn how to gauge your different passengers, and how to contact them, and how to converse and how to bring them in.
Yeah, and thinking about the types of guests that you have on board, it's multicultural, it's international.
Well, English-speaking international.
English-speaking international. And so thinking about the type of person who should come on a Riviera Travel river cruise, describe to me what that passenger looks like. Who, if somebody's thinking about it at home, describe to me who this is perfect for.
It's perfect for a traveler who is also interested in education, because it is partly enjoyment and partly educational. You don't have to if you don't like to, because as I said, you have free time, you can do what you would like. But it is not okay, we go drink wine in every port. We have local guides, I mentioned that, and they give you good background, historical speaking, and cultural and so on, and for all the different ports. Usually our demographic for our passenger is retired, mostly, or getting close to retirement, where they have time, to enjoy life. And all the way up, we have we have one passenger who's cruised I don't know how many times with us, and he's now in his 90s, and he keeps coming back, and he's still fit and so on. So that works very well. But also, obviously, because it is cruising, there's walking involved. You have the gangway, so that you have to keep that in mind when booking. Lots of passengers bring their assistant with them, for instance, because we do not have the capacity to look after, let's say, people with walking challenges or something like that. So you need to keep that in mind, obviously. But then all the itineraries are, you can choose to stay on board, or we can choose to get you a taxi, and you can strike out on your own if that is not to your liking or capabilities, whatever. So yeah, we do we look after you.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've definitely felt spending the last couple of days with you.
Good.
Is that there is a personal connection. You have this energy on board, that you're so approachable, and you make yourself known to the guests on board, and I just think that it's fantastic, and I am so grateful that you spent a few minutes with me today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Love it. Maybe we'll see you during the summer.
Sure.
Good.